scored his first goal tonight. Fire away the questions when ready.
First goal, Ben. How did it feel to open up the scoring tonight?
Yeah, it was definitely some weight off my shoulder. Kind of been snake bitten all year. Talks with my dad all year. He says you may not get one now, but you're going to get an important one. And especially on senior night with everyone here, it's definitely worth the wait.
And how was this night to all the seniors? A really special opportunity to compete in front of the fans, and you guys came out and played a great game.
Yeah, it was an awesome crowd. When you're a freshman here, you don't think this day is going to come, and obviously this one came for me, and it was really special night.
Brody, it had been a little while since you'd scored as well. I think back in the middle of January, you get that first one in the third period. What was that feeling like?
Felt good. Definitely felt like the puck wasn't really bouncing my way for the past month, and just tried to stay with it, try to not get frustrated. And tonight got set up pretty nice and kind of bounced my way.
2-0 lead going into the third period, so you had a lead, but able to build upon it like that. What was important offensively to do in that spot to try and build a lead and hold this team off tonight?
Yeah, well, we knew how important this game was going to be and how important the third and winning the third would be. We really wanted home ice. I think that's crowd goes to show like how much it can do for us. I think helped us all game and helped us all year. And so, yeah, I think one of the things in the room was just not take their foot off the gas and keep going and try to get as many as we can without giving up.
Ben, we saw them kind of bounce back a little bit in the third and make it interesting. But defensively, how did you feel like the team stacked up to that point where you were able to build a 5-0 lead?
Yeah, I thought we played great. Stoves played really well. Obviously, those types of mishaps are going to happen throughout the year. But I think it was important that we refocused. Didn't sit back too much. Still kept playing hockey, and Stoves was huge for us.
Brody, did you feel like you guys were getting to the net the way you were hoping for it? Well, on Ben's goal in particular, there was a little bit of traffic out in front, and that may have helped that puck get through. But did you feel like you guys were getting to the front and making it tough on their goalie throughout the night?
Yeah, and that's one of the things we talked about this morning in our pregame talk. It was we really wanted to establish net front presence, and I think that really paid off. Like goalie really had to work around, especially Ben's goal. Like he had a nice shot, good screen. I think that's something that we need to keep going next weekend too, because I think it's really important.
A lot of penalty minutes in this game, Ben. How did you feel like your team handled that? Because you would see some after the whistle stuff as we kind of went along in this game and as it heated up.
Yeah, around this time of year, it's basically playoff hockey, so emotions definitely get high. I think it was important for the coaches to make sure that we were calm in those situations. Obviously, stuff's going to happen, but it was important for us that we kind of stayed out of it.
Yeah, no students here today, guys. You talked about it already a little bit, but a big crowd. Obviously, the community came out and supported you, and I know you wanted a little bit more about wanting to have that game, the series here next weekend.
The crowd's been huge for us all year. Obviously, no students, but still, it was a packed barn. I think we owed it to the fans that we finished off this regular season strong and that we were able to get them at least one more weekend.
You end up at 40-plus shots on goal again, and their goalie was standing tall again today. You talked about having traffic in front of the net, Brody. That was kind of the mission today, really, to try and disrupt his flow there so that you could have some success?
Yeah, we wanted to get pucks on net and have a presence there, and then we go from there, like try to net front battles and whatnot. But yeah, we really felt that it was important to have a net front presence and kind of sling pucks because kind of create havoc around the net.
I can ask Ben too what KP did already about the emotions in the game. There was so much, after the whistle kind of stuff there. And how do you guys stay in the moment there and not end up spending so much time in the box?
Like I said, stuff's going to happen. Your emotions are going to get the best of you sometimes. I think it's important in those situations that you have to realize it's bigger than you and bigger than the emotions that you may feel or the revenge or whatever that you may want to get. but I think it's important to see the big picture. And we have a 5-goal lead at one point, so it was important that we played for Stoves and for the rest of the seniors. And yeah.
Tech is what that looks like right now. I'm sure you guys know. Any thoughts about next week's game, the series at home? Or too early to think about that?
Kind of didn't matter to us. Kind of faceless opponent. That's what we've been saying all year. It doesn't matter who we're up against. We're going to play the same way, and we're going to have the same confidence that we're going to be able to pull a win out.
Any other questions? Okay, thanks, guys.
Thank you.
guys.
Are there any questions you have?
Coach, it had been a bit of a rough stretch coming into this game in particular, but just to get an effort like you saw from your guys today and pull out a win, what did it mean to get back into that win column?
Yeah. I look at rough stretches as opportunities to learn and get better, and obviously the wins weren't where we wanted them during that, but we're playing some pretty good hockey. So, today it was a bit of a pressure cooker. You had to win, to get home ice, and I couldn't be more happier for the group. The right from the seniors, grad students, right through to the guys who played, the guys who didn't play. They've been a real fun group to coach. I said since day one, I remember coming out like at our first skate training camp kind of and seeing the growth of this group, collectively, and players from an individual standpoint. That's a happy locker room right there. It's not easy to get home ice, and you just saw what this last tonight meant throughout the whole league. I think outside of first and second, teams could have finished anywhere. 3, 4, 5 was up for grabs, 6, 7, 8 was up for grabs. So it's good to see our group get rewarded. It's a year-long commitment. It's just not one weekend. And hey, we put ourselves in a position tonight that if we won the game, it would give us home ice. And real kudos to our group, and I'm very happy for them.
What sort of example did you see those seniors set as the season went along and as that chemistry continued to grow?
They set the bar, they set the standard. Our work ethic and compete is only going to be as good as your leaders are. So take even apart your leadership group, but your older players, and that's who everyone follows. Often. So when you have some of your players that do play a lot of minutes for us, but they bring it every day. There's never a day in practice where I sit there and go, we're just off. I could tell you in the past, like in Everett, you just get out for 2-3 drills, and guys, today's not our day. No sense, all of us. We just need to hit the reset button. We just leave practice at that time and try to figure it out the next day. This year, it's been great. The guys, they put so much work in on their own too. Ice is open here, and they're here early in the mornings. Like we practice early, and if you're showing up and ice is open from 8 to 9:15, and you got a dozen guys out there working on their game, I think that shows just how serious and how committed they are. So it's been fun, but this is just part of the first. I look at it in a segment. You have exhibition games or preseason games as one phase. We're a little bit different in college in that you have some during the year as well, but then you get into the regular season phase, and now you get in the fun phase. This is what it's all about. So we've given ourselves a chance, and even a better chance to be able to play at home.
Ben gets his first goal as well. How cool was that to see? How big of a boost was that to the bench?
Who was that?
Ben scored his first goal.
Was he?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I didn't know that was his first.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was great. First goal of the game, I think, too, right? Better yet was the net front screens I like off it. It was a big thing we talked about, was having to get traffic, and it was a great 18-inch shot from Ben there, to get it on and off his stick and traffic, and it was huge. You could feel the relief on the bench, right? Like there's a lot of tension, 0-0 game, and you're sitting there like, oh, here we go, down to 40, and again, we didn't make it easy on ourselves either. I don't think we've had a game this year where you can actually take a breath until the final buzzard. But again, at the end of the day, there's more positives from that game that we can pull and continue to build on for this weekend.
Do you feel like that's a bit of a testament to them that they were able to push at the end and kind of make this game interesting, especially with you guys up 5 like that?
Well, yeah, and it was a 5-0 at one point, right? At that point you're thinking, okay, I don't want to get anybody injured. I don't want anybody suspended. And, you know, we're probably toeing the line, both teams, and you just never know. You don't ever want to put it in the referee's hands to make a decision right off it. So we had to, we had to play the game and continue to play. But when they make it 5-1, you're kind of upset because you want to keep that shutout for your goalie. And then 5-2, you're like, all right, let's hit the reset button. And then 5-3, and the goalie pulled me, and holy smokes, here we go. But we found a way. We stuck together. The guys on the bench were real communicative. They were talking. There was no panic. So I thought, from where we've been in the past, there was a lot of growth to that as well.
And it was kind of nice, I'm sure, from your perspective, to cash in that major penalty. It was a little later on in the major, but that was kind of what set the stage in the third period. They were down, and there was a ton of penalties mixed in there, but that was probably really nice to cash that one in particular.
Yeah, and what you get worried about in some of those is, well, last night we scored a goal 4-on-3. And I said, and Bill's here, he'll tell you, from a coaching standpoint, how often do you work on a 4-on-3 in practice? 0. I don't know if I've ever worked on a 4-on-3. They're very hard. They just don't happen often. And when you get a 5-minute major and the penalties are being called like that, that's always the biggest fear again, is falling into something along those lines. But our guys did, they stayed to it. They stayed true. We had some rough go-on entries, but we just kind of again. You stick to the game plan. You can't veer. If one guy veers from the game plan on a power play, well, now you've conceded it, and now it's a 4-on-4. If 2 guys veer and want to put on the Superman cape and play selfish, now they have the advantage. So that's why I always say, just play as a unit of 5, and good things will happen.
We had, I think, 53 minutes of penalty tonight, Coach. 53 minutes, a lot of emotion out there. Is that kind of playoff hockey that we saw tonight?
Yeah. How many? I don't even know how many we had. There was a lot of coincidentals, I think, back and forth, and I loved it. That's what it is, right? You score goals, you play hard, you stick up for one another. There's no better team builder than that. Sticking up for one another out there and playing with passion, and the fans are into it. And hockey's meant to be physical. It's emotional game, and I liked how we stuck up for one another. That shows good character amongst a team, and that's how the game should be played at times.
We talked about Christian's play last night, and he didn't get a lot of support. It's not all about the goals. It's about the goals he allows, but what happens before the puck gets down there and in front of him. But how do you think he played today?
Yeah, I thought he played well. It wasn't an easy decision. We went back and forth on goaltending, on lineup, and after last night's game, it left just in general, like you're a lot of things go through your head. Like I probably had 20 different makeup of lineups, at one point, going through it all, and that's what you do. And I just felt, and our staff felt that, Christian had been out for some time. He's proven this year he's played some really good hockey for us, won us a lot of games, and we felt like we needed to get him back-to-back games with him being out for the last 3 weeks. And I wish we would have did a little better job towards him, but again, he made some big saves, especially early on, some power play big saves, and he was a big factor for us.
And you got a couple of goalies of the week there on the roster you have to choose between, when you're trying to decide who's going to be in the net each week. Huh?
Yeah, it's always a good, like, again, I've said all along, Clint, I feel real confident with both guys. And I really mean that. There's no, if you told me tomorrow that goalie's going to run next weekend or this goalie, let's just drop the puck and play, and I think we're really fortunate to have really good goalies that have a real good mindset, and it's not easy being a goalie because either you play or you don't. As a D or a forward, you kind of get mixed in and so forth. So it's not easy. And again, what I'm grateful for is they make my decision hard. It needs to be hard. My job should be making hard decisions. If they're easy, then that's not working right. So they make my decisions tough, and I think that's a testament to both those two goalies and how good goalies they are.
I know you want to enjoy this for a minute or two, but any thoughts about Tech? First round, 2 out of 3 next weekend.
No, well, we were just saying we haven't played them in a while. I know one game they came in here and put it to us pretty good. So we'll have a couple days here to get, reset, lots of pre-scout. We're going to know a lot about them. They're going to know a lot about us, and it's going to probably be similar to what you see, a very emotional series. And this is a team that has good offense and good skill and special teams, and we though need to just focus on the way we want to play. As I always say, the team that can play to their identity has the best success. If you try to play somebody else's identity, you're not going to do well. So it's exciting to be at home. That's a huge plus for us. Tough to play here in the Slater Family Arena. So we look forward to a real good series. Next weekend against them.
Fans, you had a great community support tonight, obviously,
Great.
with kids being gone.
Yes, community support tonight was great. The crowd was great. My brother's down here from Stratford, and he said the same. He said, what a great turnout, especially with it being spring break. And I think you and I spoke on the phone on it. I mean, on the radio show, just how fortunate we've been this year and grateful, for the community support being out here. And as I said, we got to continue to perform. We got to get back to the community ourselves, get back to the campus and make sure we're doing our part. And we want to make sure we're giving a good, entertaining game. That's what it's all about. We want our fans to come here, cheer loud like they did, try to get them as many wins as we can, because that's why everybody comes out. But they were great, loud tonight. I love the parts when the ref's trying to announce the penalties, and he's looking up at like the band, I think it was, there to see if they're going to wrap it up. And then he just tried to go over. The band just keeps playing, but it's so loud in there, like you can't hear anything. So it's definitely home ice advantage to be at home, and we look forward to being back this Friday.
Any other questions, Coach? Okay. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you. Will Baker. Did you see him a couple times trying to talk? It was great.
Oh, that was awesome.
Did you see him?